What's up, Spellslingers? Blakeizen here, and today we're going to take a look at a Naya Superfriends deck that I've put together. But before we do, the channel is brand new, so show your boy some love and hit those like and subscribe buttons. So the first thing you can tell is we are playing a lot of Planeswalkers. We're majority red-white with a bit of splash green just for a whole bunch of value for what we're looking to do. You can see that we're running a lot of spot removal. We're running 4 Shocks, 4 Lightning Strikes, and 3 Prison Realms. We're just looking to kind of slow the early game down, get into our Planeswalkers, and just kind of take over the mid game. The Shocks and the Lightning Strikes are just really good at stopping those Nissa decks, stopping them from ramping, and they're also really good at stopping the mono red from, doing their whole spectacle game plan. If you're shocking and lightning striking their dudes on turn 1 and 2, they're going to have a really slow game, not compared to what they're used to. First Planeswalker we want to take a look at is Gideon Blackblade here. He is a really flexible creature. He comes with his own built-in removal spell if you manage to get him there. Very relevant that he gets to 6. He comes down at 4, he goes up to 5, and he lets us dodge kind of board clears. We're not really playing creatures. We're playing 3 Shalai, but that doesn't really count. So we dodge board spells with this guy, and he doesn't get to play. Our opponent doesn't get to play any destroy target creature effects on our turn because he is indestructible on our turn. So pretty solid guy. He handles those Planeswalker Esper decks pretty well. The -6 becomes really relevant when we have a Johnny down on the board. So we really put a good bit of threat down just on turns 3 and 4 versus a control deck if we haven't lost every single card in our hand to duress and thought erasure by then. Dovin lets us stall those decks a little longer. He makes all the artifacts, instants, and sorceries that our opponent casts cost 1 more. So this stops, a 3-mana Bedevil. It stops, a 3-4-mana Chemist's Insights, things like that. It gets us a little bit of tempo. And his -1 really helps us, slow down the game against the really aggressive decks too. Like, maybe Mono Green Stompy has a G2 out or, something like that. He just... all damage that they would do or would take is prevented. So, interesting card. You don't have to play any blue. As you can see in the top right, it is a white or blue. So we can just cast him with a white spell or white land. Shalai, Voice of Plenty, is the only creature we're running in the deck. It's just a really flexible, protecting kind of thing we're looking to do with her. I have tried 4. I'm not sure if we need 4 in the deck, but her ability to stop you from taking thought erasures or stop them from blowing up your Planeswalkers immediately when she hits the board is really solid. They have to commit a spell to Shalai first before they can get through and do other things they're looking to do. So it really kind of makes you able to dictate how the opponent plays their hand. The 6 mana, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control has been relevant to me, and I've won a couple of games off of it. But I wouldn't say it's something that you're looking to do every game, but it is something nice just to have tacked on to a sweet 3/4 flyer that protects all our Planeswalkers. Chandra the Fire Artisan is like the machine, the gears that makes this machine work. She comes down on 4. She is 4 loyalty. She goes up to 5. That turn 4 Chandra is going to waste a card off the top every turn. It's okay to pretend like that card didn't exist. But on turn 5, if you've happened to miss a land drop, sometimes you can peel a land off the top. You get your draw, and then you play Chandra. You can take that land and play it. If you have a land in your hand, you should use Chandra's +1 first before you play your land, because you can miss out on getting some later land drops if you don't order this correctly. Now, her -7 is pretty threatening. Opponents really need to deal with her before she gets to -7. 7 is a lot of damage, and it lets you draw a whole bunch of cards that you can just filter through and decide whatever you want to do with. So, very, very threatening card. I'm not sure why she's not played in more decks. I think she fits in more things than just, mono red aggro. So I really wanted to take a look at her. And man, as a 4/of, she has been putting in the work. We run 3 Solar Blaze. This has been stronger of a card for us as our deck than Deafening Clarion. This actually really handles the Arclight Phoenix deck. It handles Drakes. It does really well. Some of the only creatures that it can't really kill by itself are things like Basilica Bellhaunt or Wild Growth Walker, because they have more toughness than they do power. But we are running a 1/of Cleansing Nova just in the off chance we run into some of those things that we can't handle. Talking about our boy Johnny here, one of my favorite planeswalkers from the set. I've built one deck around him already. If you guys may have seen that write-up of mine. He gives all creatures you control vigilance. That includes himself. He doesn't say other creatures. Gives creatures you control vigilance when they turn into planeswalkers. Not that that really matters. It does help with our Shalai, keep him back for a blocker, or our dragon token that we make from Sarkhan. But it is pretty funny that he gives himself vigilance when he's a dragon. His +1 effect gains 3 life. One thing to really consider against the mono red matchup is that he comes down on turn 4, you gain 3 life, and he goes up to 6 loyalty. They have to commit 6 damage to this guy if they want to get him off the board right then. They don't really run anything that just says destroy planeswalker. So if he comes down on turn 4, gains 3 life, and then has 6 loyalty counters, he will have soaked up 9 damage total. So that is a really, really important thing versus the mono red aggro matchup. And his -2 is one of the main reasons we're playing this deck. It is super fun to turn all our planeswalkers into flying 4/4 dragons and then hit -2 on a Johnny and just make them all just a little bit bigger. And also relevant again for having the mobilized districts in our lands. That is a really solid card. Actually, don't think we went over our lands yet. This guy turns into a 3/3 creature. If you activate it and then give everything +1/+1, it will maintain those +1/+1 counters. So just a super important interaction to think of. And while we're talking about the red deck wins matchup, we're running 4 interplanar beacons just to put that final nail in the coffin against getting burned out, 3 out of 4 games. Sarkhan the Masterless is our biggest win condition. We do want to see one of this guy every game if we can. We don't necessarily have to. We can win other ways. But this guy is the easiest way for us to win. He comes down. Sometimes he's going to turn your previous planeswalkers into 4/4 dragons and just start beating face, turning them sideways. Or sometimes he's going to come down and make a 4/4 token. It's a little bit difficult to gauge how you're supposed to play that. Ideally, you want to make them have to spend an extra card to get rid of Sarkhan. So if they have two 2/2s on the board and you play Sarkhan the Masterless, do not make a 4/4 red dragon creature token because they're going to give up one of those 2/2s to trade with your Sarkhan the Masterless. Just go ahead and pump him up even if he doesn't do anything that turn. You want to get him out of range for a free kill. You really want to make your opponent have to spend cards to deal with your threat. Vivian Reed is a flexible card. She can't really draw very many creatures in our deck. She can draw lands, and she can find Shalai, which can be important, but we're not really looking to play her for that effect. Her -3 is just super flexible. She lets us fix our lands, and her -8, her ultimate, is just conducive to our overall game plan. So she's just a flex card here. You don't really have to run this card if you don't want to, but I have been enjoying her in the deck, so no issues from me. Ugin the Ineffable here is our heaviest, our hardest to cast card, our easiest to cast card, our most expensive to cast card. In that he costs 6, but it is colorless, so we don't really have to have any particular lands available. But his static ability, irrelevant to us. There's not a single other colorless spell in the deck. His +1 is just card advantage. This really lets us, start getting through our decks. And you play this the same way that you play Sarkhan. If you're going to -3, but they can hit Ugin back for free, you should generally stay away from it. You really want them to have to spend an extra card or an effect, a really important effect, to get rid of Ugin. The -3 is very flexible. Ironically, one of the only things he can't handle is himself. So an enemy Ugin he cannot target. It has to be a colored permanent. So that is the deck. I think the mana base could use a little bit of work. We don't think we need this many green, but I do want to be able to play a Johnny on 4 if we don't have a Chandra. Every time we see it. So I don't ever want to be missing the green and not be able to play a Johnny. So I've been playing a little heavier of the green. Like I said, we are heavy red-white. But I've got some good games for you guys. I want to apologize a little bit for the quality. The sound messed up a little bit, and I think there was a couple of frame drops here and there. But I will have that taken care of next time. So I went ahead and took this in a best of 1, and I plan on using this to climb pretty heavily. The deck has been pretty successful and flexible, and it is something that I think is super fun to play. So here it is, and I hope you guys enjoy. This is a different kind of hand. Spot removal, board wipe, gain life, creature's vigilance. Ugin. Could be good, not sure. Might have been a mulligan. We're going to start with the Foundry. Okay. Solar Blaze is a really cool card. It's not quite as good as Kaya's Wrath, but it's like 95% Kaya's Wrath. It can't kill like Basilica Bell Haunt, God Eternal Kefnet, Elite Guild Mage. Is that what that card's name is? And Wild Growth Walker. Those are the three big ones. Okay. And we go ahead and pop that. It's a pretty good top deck. That'll slow Drakes down really hard.
I look forward to seeing your mistakes.
Yeah, Esper's pretty strong, man. They just have so many like tempo plays, like the Teferi 3 that comes down, bounces a creature. Like if you're playing an aggro deck or like a mid-rangey deck, it turns the tempo around. You bounce the creature, he still has the toughness. You can't play instant spells to deal with it, like right then and there on his turn. And he draws a card from it. Man, I really hope we find like a whole lot of lands in a row. Yikes, that's not a land. And this keeps happening too. We play 25 lands and I get stuck on 3. So many games. But luckily we have Dovin essentially setting our opponent behind a turn. Because he's really looking to play like cantrip type stuff. So like everything costs 1 less, so now that the Radical Idea just costs 2. Like it's still just basic Radical Idea. I don't think it's worth Solar Blazing just the Electromancer. Okay. There is no point to do the -2. If he wants to kill Dovin, that's fine. We really want to see. We'd rather have Sarkon next turn. And we're not going to start doing Johnny until we play. And there's not even a guarantee we get Sarkon, so Solar Blaze might just be the play. Just gained a little more life. Yeah, so he's going to shoot the Dovin. He's tired of dealing. I'd like to see like a Crackling Drake cast. That way we get some more Solar Blaze value.
These results are an anomaly, not to be repeated.
I think he's got double Lightning Strike for a Johnny. Would that not be nuts? Okay. Charter Course Lightning Strike. Alright. Did he really find it? Oh, he got 3 cards anyways. Yikes, man. Chances are we just lose Sarkhan if we +1 here. I mean, he needs to find 1 damage. He got pretty lucky finding that Drake. But I think we need to go with the set up the board play. This forces him to find 1 more card. We can't, if we do -3, he can still kill Sarkhan just by attacking with both, even if he even if we block 1, like the Phoenix or whatever. So we're just gonna look for to make him spend 1 more card to get him to get rid of Sarkhan, and we'll slap down the Solar Blaze and try to get some good value there. Be cool if he'd take longer turns. Okay. Okay. Solar Blaze also will not kill Augur Bolus. We have no dragons.
Listen to them roar. Come on.
It's one of the greatest voice actors of all time.
A challenge.
Sounds like Steve Blum. Kaboom.
They are coming.
So it was correct to go for the board advancement play. I mean, obviously he could still just find 1 damage and kill it. Honestly, he could just find 3 spells and kill it, but that's 1. He's got 2 right here, and the chances this is not a spell are like 0. Yeah. So he just gets his Drake back. Phoenix back. Committed too many cards right there.
There is no peace in defeat.
I'm gonna try to get some card advantage from Ugin. We're gonna play proactively instead of reactively. He goes up to 5. He still needs to find like a shock.
Secrets manifest before you.
Solar Blaze will get us our other Chandra. He's doing a good job of not fizzling out. The reason we went Ugin over just playing Solar Blaze again was because he's looking at 2 radical ideas, and the chances of him just not having a another instant or sorcery to get his Phoenix back is like 0. And if we do that play and we Solar Blaze, he just gets the Phoenix back on the board, and we've got no real way to, we're in the same boat the turn after. So I'm really not sure. I guess he's got another shock in hand or a lightning strike for the Ugin. sure looks like it. We may be able to just kill him with Chandra 2 turns in a row with face damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I may have done this wrong. I should have counted the lands again. Yeah, we don't get it. That was a bad shock land. I was thinking Mobilize District costs 3, which does not include itself. So Lightning Strike. Okay. So we get 5 damage to face from Chandra if he goes for it, like if he hits it. I'm not gonna activate or anything. There's 1. So he's gonna have his other Phoenix here. Looks like he's finally getting close to running out of gas. No, maybe not. He's hit a lot of his draw. He's down to 24 cards already. He's trying to find another Phoenix. Okay. That's 2 Chandra. Or 2 hits at Chandra. Okay. So he's going face finally. Okay. Yeah, we shocked ourselves for no reason. So that really dumb by us. Alrighty. So we can lifelink our land. So if we get in 1, 2, 3, we still have enough to mobilize district. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can also get in and Solar Blaze. So let's take a look at what we get first. Land. And I like the Solar Blaze Gideon play. If he has 3 spells, we're going to take a bunch, but gain 1.
Prepare for battle.
It's a close game. He's got 6 out of the graveyard if he gets there, which he probably does. I mean, seriously, we're talking about is it Drake's, or is it Phoenix rather? It's 2. Let go of Lava Coil. Three. Oh, and he been Phoenix, so he's got 10 on board. Oh, he killed us. Oh no. Still just, we're at 1. Ooh. There's a lot of good top decks here. We get 2 chances. We get 2 chances. That ain't it.
No problem. Fire can't solve.
Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can go up to, we can hit him for 7, 8, 9. Go up to 4. So I think the play is actually that's actually wrong. We need to leave 2 lands open. Give it a green, red, green, red, white. Chandra. Oh, we're in full control. We don't need that.
You wanna go, tough guy? Let's light it up!
3, 4, 5, 9. And we almost got there. If we hadn't shocked ourselves, I think we killed him. Yeah, we would have. Oh wait, no. We can still kill him.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
Watch this. Sick. We found it. Like, who doesn't have a rough at matchup versus Esper? I'd like to know that deck. Looks like a good one. Make sure we don't accidentally play the Interplanar Beacon here. And we don't need to play the Interplanar Beacon still, because the ordering for our lands saves us 2 life right there. There's some world in which we just go ahead and lightning strike that, but we're just going to wait and see. We should really get around to change our basic lands at some point. Alright, so when he attacks, now we're going to lightning strike. We're not going to let him get easy spectacle activations. We're going to avoid that. Okay, so I think I like getting Chandra started here. We're not being threatened any on our life totals, and Chandra, represents damage to another Chandra. Solar Blaze would have been good after Chain Whirler, but she's, she might let us hit that 5th land for Sarkon here. So yeah. So we're doing that. We're doing that thing. Okay. He feels just as bad about his as I feel about mine, so that's good. I think if he punches my Chandra, I'm just going to send it to face. Race him that way. Okay. Land. Unlucky. Gain 1 life, and then gain 3 life. So we don't want to let that thing ult, because it's going to give him a lot of cards to just do whatever he wants to with. But we're not being threatened right now, so he might send some of that damage to Johnny or Chandra here, because a Johnny like healing for 3, healing for a Wizard's Lightning, every turn is a pretty big deal for red. So it kind of intimidates him a pretty good bit. He may have some form of like light up the stage, things like that. Played his land already, so he misordered. Okay, so now we don't get to. We can't -2 a Johnny. Can't play a Johnny. Man, what a heavy hand. Okay, we just He's about out of cards, but we really need to find a land because he's going to be at 7 right here. I mean, I guess we could ult Chandra, blow up his Chandra, take 7.
It's you burning.
I mean, if we find Shalai, we won't take 7, and that'll be absolutely hilarious. Okay, well, he played it right.
Nobody tells me what to do.
We just start a ping war right here. He can hit mine, I can hit his. I'm just gonna see what he wants to do.
Feel my pain. You will regret this.
What a funny play.
For it. That's it. Guess you don't need me anymore.
So opponent wasted 1 face damage there and a card. Oh no, I think he might have got 1 extra out of it. Since we have 3 Sarkhan right here, we're just gonna make a token. Doesn't really matter what he wants to do. He may you know shoot this thing, but whatever. We gain 2 life from it, and we have 2 follow-up Sarkhans. Got him. Okay. Still gonna eat a lightning strike. Ooh. We can get Gideon set up if we like, which we may. I think we probably should. This gives us a lot more pressure. And he needs 3 damage to kill it, which is rare for this deck. Land. So, I mean, we don't have to spin the Solar Blaze here, really. We tick up to 4. We swing Arena. We get in for 4. And since we did block, we are gonna Solar Blaze. Ooh, Angel. We could give that token indestructible, and if we'd like to. The better play is probably to get Sarkhan down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he can +2/+2 that thing. Yeah, I think we may as well get the token down. I mean, he probably has a Planeswalker removal anyways, for being real, because it is, you know, that deck. Sure. land. Okay. All our stuff are 4/4 flyers. We play Chandra. We don't want to be a flying dude. Okay, we don't care about that. We pay 2 life. And we make a 3/3 land that we turn indestructible. And then we turn our dude sideways. GG.